Hi kids, let's do question and answers for our chapter where the mind is without fear. सबसे पहले है warming up exercise. तो यहाँ पे आपको match करना है. So humanism is what? A rationalistic outlook towards humans rather than a divine or supernatural one. मतलब आप इंसान को इंसान की तरह ट्रीट करो. ये नहीं कि वो भगवान है या सुपरनैचुरल है, वो इंसान है. पेट्रियोटिज्म यानी पेट्रियोटिक, देशभक्त. इंटरनेशनलिज्म क्या हुआ? स्टेट और प्रोसेस ऑफ बीइंग इंटरनेशनल, जहां पे आप इंटरनेशनल हो. लिबरलिज्म क्या हुआ? होल्डिंग लिबरल व्यूज, यानी आपकी सोच जो है वो उदार है. मतलब आप जो है दूसरे के विजन्स, उसके व्यूज को भी एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हो. ऐसा नहीं है कि आप इस सोच के साथ जी रहे हो कि जो आप कह रहे हो वही सही है. नहीं, आप दूसरे की सही सोच को एक्सेप्ट कर सकते हो. एनवायरमेंटलिज्म क्या हुआ? कंसर्न अबाउट एन एक्शन एम्ड एट प्रोटेक्टिंग द एनवायरमेंट, जहां पे आपको पर्यावरण के लिए कंसर्न है और आप उसे जो है प्रोटेक्ट करना चाहते हो. नंबर 2, पोएम्स इन इंग्लिश आर ऑफ डिफरेंट टाइप्स. तो यहाँ पे आपको लिखना है कि ये डिस्क्रिप्शन जो है ये किस पोएम का है. सो अ लॉन्ग स्टोरी पोएम ऑफन मिथिकल इज एपिक. लंबी पोएम जो जनरली काल्पनिक कहानी पे होती है, दैट इज एन एपिक. A short story poem with a message is a ballad. A poem of 14 lines is called sonnet. A song-like poem is lyric. A poem with no uniformity or rhyme, rhythm, etc. free verse, जैसे कि आपकी ये poem where the mind is without fear. A poem set in picturesque, rustic background is an idyll. A sad poem lamenting death of a loved one is elegy. A 5-line short funny poem with rhyme scheme AABBA is limerick. A poem written just to create humor is humorous. Next are the questions that are written on the margin of chapter. What does the poet pray to the Almighty for? The poet prays to the Almighty for a country where people live with dignity, without fear, and in unity. He wishes for a place where knowledge is free, truth is spoken, and efforts are made towards perfection. He hopes for a nation guided by reason and not held back by outdated customs. What are reason and dead habit compared to? Reason is compared to a clear stream that should not lose its way, while dead habit is likened to dreary desert sand. This means that reason should flow freely and guide people instead of them being stuck in old, unproductive habits. What does the poet wish for? The poet wishes for his country to awaken into a heaven of freedom. He dreams of an India where everyone works towards greater thought and action, led forward by God into a future of enlightenment and liberty. Next is English workshop. In your notebook, write down lines from the poem as a proof for the following. Tagore wishes for a nation where people are truthful. तो ये हमें कौन सी लाइन में पता चला था? Where words come out from the depth of truth. The poet would like everyone to work hard to reach their goal and in the long run to reach perfection, where tireless striving stretches its arms towards perfection. The poet wishes that everyone in his country holds his head high in dignity, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. The poet dreams of a nation where knowledge should be free to all, where knowledge is free. The poem is a prayer. The entire poem is written in the form of a prayer, as indicated by the last line. Into that heaven of freedom, my Father, let my country awake. Number 2, read the columns carefully and match the expressions with their meanings. So the head is held high, a person with self-respect and proud of possessing it. Narrow domestic walls, narrow-mindedness. Knowledge is free, education is given to all. Depth of truth, sincerity of heart. Mind is without fear, a fearless person. Stretches its arms, aim at perfection. Clear stream of reason, clear thinking. Dead habits is dried up infertile land of sands. Ever widening thought and action, that is broadening the outlook and attitude. Answer the following questions in your own words. How is the world broken into fragments? The world is broken into fragments by narrow walls of division, like when people fight over small differences or don't understand each other. It's like having a big puzzle, but all the pieces are scattered and don't fit together because everyone thinks their piece is the most important. Explain what the tireless striving should be for. Tireless striving should be for personal and collective improvement. It's about not settling for mediocrity and always pushing ourselves to be better. Like studying for that A plus even when a B seems good enough. यानी अगर आपको स्कूल में B ग्रेड भी मिल रही हो, यानी B तो अच्छी है, राइट, कोई खराब ग्रेड नहीं है, बट आप जो है A प्लस को ट्राई करते रहो, तो उसे कहते हैं टायरलेस स्ट्राइविंग. यानी आप जो है ये ट्राई कर रहे हो कि परफेक्ट हो जाओ, परफेक्शन का ट्राई हो रहा है. Where words come out from the depth of truth. Explain in your own words. When words come out from the depth of truth means speaking with sincerity and authenticity. It's about being real and honest, not just saying what you think others want to hear. Who is thee in the poem? What does the poet appeal to thee to do? Thee in the poem refers to a higher power, which could be God or a universal spirit. The poet is asking his higher power to guide his country into a state of enlightenment where freedom and dignity prevail. What qualities does the poet wish to inculcate in his countrymen? The poet wants his countrymen to be brave, truthful, and hardworking. He wants them to be kind and smart, not stuck doing things just because that's how it's always been done. He hopes they will be the kind of people who help make the world a better place. Write in your notebook your own response and justify where needed. Is the poem a prayer for India alone? The poem transcends national boundaries and becomes a universal prayer for freedom and progress. While Tagore wrote it with India in mind, its message is applicable to any nation seeking enlightenment and unity. What should the words we speak reflect? Our words should be reflection of our inner truth and integrity. They should mirror our deepest convictions and the honesty with which we view the world. What should people keep on widening? How can it be done? We should constantly strive to expand our understanding and empathy. This can be achieved through education, open-mindedness, and a willingness to embrace diverse perspectives. From what darkness of night should our nation awake? The darkness of night from which our nation should awake is the ignorance and divisiveness that hinders our collective progress. It's a metaphor for the obstacles that prevent us from achieving true freedom. What attributes of Rabindranath Tagore does the poem reflect? Tagore's attributes of hope, a desire for progress, and a deep-seated respect for truth and dignity are evident in this poem. It reflects his visionary outlook and his belief in the potential of his countrymen. What effect does the repetition of the word where at the beginning of each line? The repetition of where at the beginning of each line serves as a poetic device to emphasize the various conditions that must be met for a society to achieve the ideal state Tagore envisions. It creates a rhythm that underscores the poem's aspirational nature. Number 4. Read the poem carefully and complete the table after the discussion in pairs. One is done for you. तो पोएम के कॉन्सेप्ट ये हैं, प्रेजेंट सिचुएशन में ये कंडीशन है एंड फ्यूचर में कौन सी आइडियल सिचुएशन होगी जिसके लिए जो है रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर जो है ड्रीम कर रहे हैं. सो माइंड इज फुल ऑफ फियर राइट नाउ, बट इन फ्यूचर वी वांट इट टू बी fearless mind. Head, right now head is bowed down. In future we want our head to be held high. Knowledge is the privilege of a select minority right now. But in future, we want knowledge to be free and available to all. Words are insincere right now. In future, words are truthful and sincere. Habit, old traditional rituals and customs that are harmful are followed. In future, there is reason and clarity of thought. Thoughts and actions are determined by a narrow-minded attitude. In future, thoughts and actions are determined by a broad outlook. Complete the following sentences using your own interpretation. When the mind is without fear and head unbowed, we enjoy true freedom. When knowledge is free, every citizen enjoys the right to learn and grow. We can prevent social injustice when we pull down discriminatory walls of caste, class, religion, etc. Constant effort and strife leads to progress. Logical thinking and reasoning can put a stop to superstition and ignorance. Tagore appeals to God to make his country a heaven of freedom. Fill in the blanks. Students should keep themselves aloof from negative influences and distractions. When education is accessible and valued, everyone will be literate. It is a social duty of every student of the modern world to uproot prejudice and equality from societies. Students must develop critical and open-minded outlook and attitudes. In the world of sycophancy, students must remain true to their values and beliefs. Sycophancy का मतलब होता है ऐसा ऐसी दुनिया जहाँ पे एक दूसरे की हम चमचागिरी कर रहे हैं, मक्खन लगा रहे हैं, उसको जो है sycophancy कहते हैं. Find out the examples of metaphor from the poem. In Rabindranath Tagore's poem Where the Mind is Without Fear, there are several examples of metaphors, which are figures of speech that compare two things without using like or as. Here are a couple of examples. First is narrow domestic walls. This metaphor refers to the societal and communal barriers that divide people and hinder unity. Next is clear stream of reason. Here reason is compared to a clear stream, suggesting that it should flow freely and guide us, rather than being clouded by superstition or irrationality. Dreary desert sand of dead habit. Old unproductive habits are compared to dreary desert sand, implying that they are dry, lifeless and vast, covering the fertile land of potential and progress. These metaphors help convey the poem's themes of freedom, unity and enlightenment. Number 7. Almost every line of the poem begins with the word where, and it expects an idealistic country and countrymen. Now work in a group of 6 students and compose your poem regarding ideal school. Begin your lines with the word where. तो यहाँ पे मैंने एग्जाम्पल के लिए एक पोएम लिखी है where से. आप ऐसा ही कुछ बना सकते हो. नेक्स्ट इज अप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द पोएम. नाउ ये जो है अप्रिसिएशन ऑफ द पोएम, ये मैंने चैप्टर के एक्सप्लेनेशन वाले वीडियो में भी डाला है और यहाँ पे भी है, आप इसे पढ़ सकते हो. नेक्स्ट आपको जो है एक स्पीच लिखना है इंडिपेंडेंस डे के लिए. सो द स्पीच शुड बी ऑन द टॉपिक ऑफ इंडिया ऑफ माय ड्रीम्स, एंड उसमें आपको ये सारी चीजें जो है इंक्लूड करनी है. तो यहाँ पे मैंने एक सैम्पल स्पीच दिया है. Respected principal, teachers and my dear friends, good morning to all of you. I am a student of class. Today I stand before you to speak about India of my dreams on this auspicious occasion of our Independence Day. India, as I envision it, is a nation where every child has access to quality education, where no one goes to bed hungry and where equality reigns supreme. In the India of my dreams, the air is clean, the rivers are pure, and the forests are lush. It is a place where technology and tradition coexist harmoniously, creating a society that is progressive yet rooted in its cultural heritage. I dream of an India where women walk without fear, where the youth are employed and empowered, and where the elderly are respected and cared for. My India is one where every citizen actively participates in the governance, ensuring transparency and accountability. In this India, innovation and creativity are encouraged, leading to groundbreaking advancements that benefit not just our country, but the entire world. It is a land that thrives on diversity, where every language, religion, and culture is celebrated. In conclusion, the India of my dreams is a beacon of peace and prosperity, a powerhouse of knowledge and wisdom, and a symbol of unity and strength. I would like to thank each one of you for listening to me with such patience. Let us all work together to make this dream a reality. Jai Hind. नेक्स्ट जो आपका क्वेश्चन है उसमें आपको शॉर्ट स्टोरी पढ़नी है रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर की काबुलीवाला एंड द होम कमिंग. तो यहाँ पे मैंने दोनों स्टोरी का जो है समरी लिखा हुआ है. सो द काबुलीवाला इज अ टचिंग स्टोरी बाय रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर about the friendship between a 5-year-old girl named Minnie and a Kabuliwala, Afghan trader named Rahmat. The Kabuliwala visits Minnie's home to sell dry fruits, and over time they develop a bond. Minnie's innocent questions and chatter remind Rahmat of his daughter back in Afghanistan, whom he misses dearly. However, their friendship is interrupted when Rahmat is imprisoned for a stabbing incident. Years later, he returns to see Minnie on the day of her wedding, only to realize that she has grown up and forgotten him. The story ends with Rahmat setting off to see his own daughter carrying the memory of Minnie with him. The homecoming tells the story of Fatik, a 14-year-old boy who's sent to live with his uncle in Calcutta. Fatik struggles to fit in at his new home and school, feeling unloved and unwelcome. He longs to return to his village, but his uncle tells him he can go back only during the holidays. Eventually, Fatik falls ill with a fever, and in his delirium, he expresses a desire to go home. His mother is sent for, but by the time she arrives, it is so late for Fatik. Visit the website and collect more information about रविन्द्रनाथ टैगोर's life and work. तो आप जो है वेबसाइट से और भी इंफॉर्मेशन निकाल के जो है उनके बारे में लिख सकते हो. यहाँ पे मैंने बस थोड़ा सा बेसिक उनके बारे में जो है लिखा है. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, please like, share and subscribe the channel. Thank you.